would invite our next speaker, Maryna I'm sorry for my pronunciation, Hritsyshyna, who is a member of the board of the Ukrainian Wind Energy Association and counsel at the Sayenko Kharenko law firm. And you'll talk about the political and legislative environment for wind development in Ukraine. So, Maryna.
Hello, thank you for invitation. I will share my screen. Today, my presentation will concern the regulatory issues that we have in Ukraine in 2020. So the main topics of my presentation is the main challenges of this year, feed-in tariff restructuring, compensation for curtailments, and supporting schemes for the wind after 2020. First of all, this year we will remember due to several main challenges. The first challenge for renewables is the level of payments that we had in this year. On this slide, you can see that the level of payment was too low from March till July, and we still have the debts for this month. But later situation changed a little bit, and I will explain it in other slides. But still, the most important problems for the market in this year is the question of the payment of debts and the questions of full payment each month that we expect for renewable projects. The second challenge it's development of renewable projects in Ukraine. In 2014, our government approved a national plan. According to this plan, we expected that the production of wind energy will exceed the production of solar energy. And such balance was important for proper development of the energy system. But due to the high level of feed-in tariff for solar, we have significant development of the solar in Ukraine, and as a result, the production of solar energy prevail over wind energy, and as a result, we have problems with balancing capacities. And in this year, we had problems with compensations for curtailments of the renewable projects. And in this year, we tried to resolve these questions too. So in order to resolve question with the debts of the guaranteed buyer for feed-in tariff, we spent this year in the following issues. First of all, the questions about the payments to renewables and the feed-in tariff was raised by the government in the November 2019. Then we had negotiations and mediation procedure with support of the Energy Community Secretariat. And in June 2020, our association, Ukrainian Wind Energy Association, concluded the memorandum of understanding with the government. After memorandum, we also had adoption of the law on improvement of conditions of supporting electricity from renewables. And in August, we have the decrease of the feed-in tariffs for all renewables projects. Let's look on these documents in more details. Memorandum of understanding, this document was very important in order to solve the questions with debts and payments to the renewables. On the slide, you can see that the renewable producers agreed on the feed-in tariff reduction on the certain amounts and agreed on the increase of balance responsibilities. At the same time, according to the memorandum of understanding, the government shall to perform to ensure the full and timely payment to renewables. The memorandum included also the payment schedule of the existing debts of the guaranteed buyer and certain state guarantees. On the basis of this memorandum, the Parliament adopted the law on improvement of conditions for supporting of electricity from renewables. And one of the main questions of this law was the new feed-in tariff rates. Then the draft law included the conditions about the bonus for local content, and also it contains certain options for debt payments. These options are still subject to additional discussion, but we have certain results. For instance, we have the law about state guarantee to the transmission system operator that can help to solve the questions with the debts of the guaranteed buyer. So the previous slides was about the problems about the debts. Except the debts, we have certain progress with the compensation for curtailments. As I mentioned before, from November 2019, we have certain curtailments initiated by the transmission system operators, but our law did not contain the mechanism for compensation of the curtailments. And on November 2020, our regulator approved the amendments to the market rules of energy system, and on the basis of these rules, renewable producers can receive the compensations under the feed-in tariffs. According to the amendment to the electricity market law, the transmission system operator is entitled to issue comment to renewables for decreasing production. It's called downward balancing services in other countries. And on the basis of the amendments to the law, the renewable producers are entitled for compensations for these curtailments under feed-in tariffs. Except the approval of the regulation, we also have the methodology for calculation of the electricity that is not generated by the producers, and the tolerance for renewable producers in case of performance of the comment of the transmission system operator. It's the main change about the current problems and the situation. Notwithstanding all these problems, we expect on the further development of wind energy. For this reason, the law about improvement of renewable sector contain also the rules about the obligation of the government to draft the law about separate balancing groups by the renewables. It means that in case of adoption of such a law, the renewables will be able to participate on the market separately from the guaranteed buyers and to receive the payment under the contract for difference. We expect to have this draft law in the nearest time. And we also wait for renewable auctions. And according to the last news, on the 3rd of December, the Ministry of Energy plans to introduce certain plans about auctions. It's very important steps because the future development of the wind energy depends from such stimulation schemes. In frame of the renewable auctions, we wait for quotas for auctions, and according to the last amendments to the law, we have caps for auctions price that will be in amount 9 euro cents per kilowatt until 2024. So it's the main changes in regulation of the wind energy. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Maryna. I think that was also a very important presentation, also referring a bit to the challenges that you're facing. And actually, yes, it's not the only market where we see now the switch to auctions, which is creating some imbalances and some challenges for the companies. Yeah, If you have any direct comments, please feel free to use the chat window here. Otherwise, again, Maryna, you're available in the next couple of minutes. Oh, I see there's a question from Johannes Schiel. Hi, Maryna, Andre, thank you very much for your presentation, your strong engagement, also for the wind industry, very good. Things seem to move in the right direction again concerning the guaranteed buyer and financing the debt. What are the next steps? Maryna, would you like to comment on this?
Yes, I will. As to the guaranteed buyer and the financing, as I mentioned in my presentation, we had in the draft was certain options for the payment of the debt, but this option was not realized still. However, in this month, in November, we have December now, in November, our parliament adopted the amendments to the budget of Ukraine, state budget of Ukraine, and according to this amendment, the transmission system operator, Kharenko, shall receive state guarantee in order to receive loans for payment their debts. This means that it's one of the options in order to help to the transmission system operator to pay debts to the guaranteed buyer and renewable producers. However, we also participate in discussion of other options, and the Ministry of Energy also involved in this process. They propose different approaches in order to solve the situation with debts of the guaranteed buyer, and we hope that on the next year we will have some solution for this question.
Yeah, thank you, Maryna.